Hey, everybody, welcome to Squad Pod Sports. Got a big show for you today. Ryan Leitner here, special guest. Also going to talk about Ja Morant being out and what that means for the Grizzlies and the playoffs here going forward. And is Tom Brady so bored at home that he has to go and get a new job when he's not even retired from playing football? All that and more, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Squad Pod Sports. We're bringing thoughts on the latest games and sports news around the sports world, brought to you by the Sideline Sports Network. Once again, we got returning guest Ryan Leitner on the show, man. Thank you for being on, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, as always. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. I mean, we got a lot to talk about with your teams. You know, Aaron Rodgers coming back. You know, you lost a lot of pieces here for Green Bay. So we'll talk about that, and also your Bucks, man, in a hard-fought series with these Celtics.
It's a nail biter. It's going down to 7.
They've been giving me coronaries the past 2 games. I mean, I've been at work watching, and it's just, oh man, I thought last year against the Nets were bad. This is, I guess worse.
Yeah, I mean, we can hop right into the NBA talk here. I mean, what do you think about the series that's been going on? Like, do you think that you guys gonna come out on top in the end?
That's difficult to say, to be honest. I mean, it's a
tough one.
It is. I mean, because there's such star power on the Celtics. I mean, Jason Tatum has just proven this year that he's with the money. He's everything to that team. You know, they got Smart. I mean, look at Al Horford and how good he did last night.
Yeah.
Dunk it on Giannis.
Yeah.
Throwing it down.
He took it personally.
He did.
And then you got Smart. You know, it's just there's so many good players on that Boston Celtics team. But I mean, I said the same thing last year about the Nets. You know, with the Durant and that type of stuff. I mean, if we get out of this series, I'll be very happy. I mean, and then the only other team that I'm worried about is the Heat, because it seems like we have problems with.
You get out of this series, man, you going straight to the finals. That's how I feel. Like the winner of this series is going to the finals. To me, I pick Boston. Like nothing against Milwaukee. I just think Boston and Golden State are going to meet each other in the finals there.
I did pick the Bucks.
He did.
I think the biggest thing that hurts you guys is Chris Middleton being out, man. I feel like if he was in there, you guys, it could look way different right now.
And especially with Giannis being Giannis, I mean, he's still, I think he had 34 points last night.
Yeah.
And that type of thing. You know, Giannis is doing Giannis things as he does, but like, I mean, Jrue Holiday's really been stepping it up too, but like you said, we are missing Middleton, because if it's, now they know to cover Jrue, and it's like,
cuts it off a little bit.
Yeah,
and then you got to force like Grayson Allen to shoot and some of these other players.
Yeah, and it's our Achilles heel right now, and I mean, I'm hoping he gets the recovery before it's too late. But
yeah, they're saying that he could miss the rest of the series. Maybe back in the next one if you guys advance. But man, it doesn't help that, I mean, Boston, they kind of flip-flopped. They looked really bad that first half of the season, and then right after the All-Star break, it all clicked. And then they quickly rose to the top of the East there. And their defense, they're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA right now. So even with Chris Middleton being gone, you guys still competing against one of the top defenses, and have this series tied right now.
Yeah,
it really says something about the leadership and how battle tested they are in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, and like I said, it's been this entire series has just been a roller coaster of emotions, and but in a good way. Like, I mean, this is what I like to see. This is the back and forth, and then like last night it got really chippy. It got with Giannis getting the technical on just a stare down.
Stare down, man.
I was not happy about that, but. And then there was the tangle up with him and Smart Smart went to pick him up, and he's too busy like looking at the other, seeing what's going on.
And he's like, Doc,
get out of here. Yeah, I'm out. But I mean, this is the basketball I like to see.
It's been great basketball all around. Even with one of the series, we'll get to it at 3-1. It's still been great basketball all around. It's really good for the NBA here. But I do think Boston comes out of this series, and I'm gonna stick with it just because that's what I picked in the beginning there. So I'm just gonna stick with
hard feelings here.
And look, you see this, but I hate Look, is where I love Boston. This is where I hate it. So as far as the basketball is concerned, I don't want to see any green jerseys. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know, man. I think Boston's got a great basketball team, and it's like why I said especially in the second half of this year here. So if they can keep it going, who's going to stop them? You know, we'll see if Milwaukee can.
Yeah,
See
and
if
honestly,
Milwaukee can. If not, man, I feel like it would be a great series with just between the Celtics and the Heat too, if that happened.
Yeah.
Also,
Absolutely.
Well, who knows?
because I really don't want the 76ers to go anywhere. Like, I'm hoping.
Oh
they
no,
fall.
I don't either. Me and Vern are all for the downfall of the Sixers.
Everybody on this
Same.
podcast is like down. Sorry, Sixers.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
do not like the Sixers, man, at all. So,
You got Dark Knight up here coming back with the mask on and everything. It's not going to help you.
Thinks he's
No.
Batman out here.
Batman. I don't care. You're going down. Jimmy Butler's coming for you.
He's out there looking like Jim Carrey in The Mask, is what he's like really looking
Did you
like.
see Jimmy's quote about that?
No.
Like they posted
like,
a picture. Yeah, he posted a picture of him in the mask, like say like Sixers win or whatever. He said, "Fuck your mask," and then they go out and like win by 40 tonight, pretty much.
I think it was like Joel Embiid posted a picture of it. It was like it quoted like nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask.
Yeah, he
and
said, "Fuck your
Butler
mask."
commented on that post like, "Fuck your mask." Like,
I love Jimmy Butler. I do.
He does not care at all. And I knew it was gonna happen because as soon as they announced that Kyle Lowry was out, I was like, oh, these Heat play somehow amazing without Kyle Lowry, so they're gonna get a dub. And then sure enough,
and it's sitting here at 3-1 or 3-2 Miami. So they have to win one more. Whenever this drops, I think we have game 4 of it. I'm sorry, 6 of the series here. I don't know if it's this Thursday or if it's Friday, but as of right now, it's sitting at 3-2. Miami taking care of business, even though Philly kind of had that run there.
Yeah.
Then 2 games, Miami came back tonight and took care of business.
They go back to Philly next because this one was in Miami. Do they go back to Philly for the next one?
Yeah, 6-7.
So
6.
yeah.
It's
yeah,
Miami.
I don't know.
They go back to Philly for this.
It's gonna be hard for Miami to win and try to close it out there in Philly. It might go to 7. Who knows?
7, but we'll see what happens. I think if it does, Miami's definitely taking that at home.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mhm.
But that's been actually a great series. Been pretty wild. You know, Miami came out with 2 straight wins. Joel Embiid comes back, 2 straight wins for the Sixers, and then this blowout tonight. Who knows what it's going to look like in the next one here?
And they say a series doesn't start until a team loses at home. You know, so like, and if I think both these teams have won all the home games, right?
Yeah.
So like, this series really, we haven't really seen.
Someone's going to have to win away. It's
right. Somebody has to win on the road. That's what it comes down to if you want to win this shit. Or Miami could just take care of it, you know, win all 4 home games. That's all you got to do as well. But I think Miami wins this series for sure.
But we can move on to the other this other series here. Grizzlies and Warriors went to 3-1. We talked about, in the intro, Ja Morant is doubtful for the rest of the playoffs here with a bone bruise in his knee. That's just absolutely heartbreaking because of how great he's been playing here.
Right.
Now, the Grizzlies, they do have a great record without Ja during the season, but I feel like the playoffs is going to be a little different. Maybe they can kind of pull out a win to kind of save their necks for, kind of like a gentleman's. I mean, it's 3-1, but I don't know. I just don't see them getting past Golden State at this point.
I don't either, especially without Ja. Golden State is so strong right now. They're dealing with a little couple injuries as well over there at Golden State, but they're gelling. Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond, they're playing fine. So I don't see them beating Golden State without Ja, especially. I didn't see them beating Golden State with Ja.
Yeah. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I can just see that closing out here. And that's going to the other series, the Mavs and the Suns. Who knows what's going on with this one? It's tied at 2-2 right now. And as of right now, the game is tied. Game 5. It's 40-40 right now, and it's going in the halftime here in 3 minutes. Obviously, the game will be over by, time this releases. But Luka and the Mavs making this a series. These Suns don't look good at all here these past couple games.
They really don't, and I did pick the Suns in this, but that's before Luka started taking over. You know, in the first 2 games they lost, and he had over 30 points both those games. These last 2 that they won, he had like 26, I think, in both of them. But he's over 10 in rebounds and assists, like on each one of them. He hasn't had triple doubles, but he's close, double doubles at least.
Getting the team involved. You know, he's boosting the morale.
I hate the Suns. Like, and it's not. I don't hate the Suns as much as like the whole team as an organization. I hate this Suns team because of the BS that they put us through, and the whole they whooped our ass in the. I hate this Suns team. I hate it. Okay, so I would love to see Luka of all people come through and take care of Chris Paul and Devin Booker and these damn Suns. Get the fuck out of here! Like, surprise everybody. They're gonna lose probably in this next round to Golden State.
To the Warriors, yeah.
I'd love to see him knock the Suns out. Thinking they're the shit all year long. We're the shit. We're the shit. No, you're not. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
We talked before we started the podcast here about how crazy would it be if the Mavs end up beating the Suns and then ended up somehow beating the Warriors to go, and then Luka wins just a championship. He's just like, that'd be nuts. Like, no problem.
Too easy.
I could do it all.
I just hate the Suns because that's who we played in the finals, and
you
know that, and I don't like Chris Paul. I don't.
Yeah, that's something about him. Like, I do like Chris Paul, but like the older I get, the more I'm like, fuck Chris Paul, man.
Same.
Like, what's this dude done?
There's something about Chris. Like, he ain't done nothing, man. Last year you ever got anywhere close to like that level of success. Like, I don't think he's ever been past Eastern Conference or Eastern Conference Finals ever. You know, until last year. So I don't know, Chris Paul. I got reservations about you, man. I don't know.
I mean, my most hated player I think is Trae Young. Yeah, I really don't like Trae.
Trae Young.
Yeah.
Mine's probably Pat Bev. I can't stand Pat Bev.
Fuck Pat Bev. I
can't stand Pat Bev, dude.
Fuck Pat Bev. I hate that motherfucker more than any NBA player,
this
bro.
Dude's done nothing. He out here talking shit every game.
Bro, like, talk about the Lakers at Cancun or some shit. Talking about how Ja ain't dropped 40 points on them or whatever. Like,
was eliminated. Like, bro, you guys blew like 3 20-point leads, bro. What are you talking about?
Pat Bev keeps giving me reasons to hate him. You know, so whatever. Fuck it.
You ain't doing any favors. You ain't doing yourself any favors, man.
I just keep hating you. I don't care.
And that's why I hate Trae Young. Like, he goes out there and he talks all that shit.
I understand the Trae Young stuff. Yeah.
And it's like, you have one good game, and then you ride that momentum for how many straight games until you have another half-decent game. But, like, I don't know. Like, you could take your unibrow and shove it, man. Like, just
I would probably rank him towards the bottom of all, like, the up-and-coming young. I mean, I could recognize the talent, and he has.
Same.
I've seen it.
But as far as, like, favorites, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take, like, Luka, Ja, all those guys over.
Ja Morant are my 2 favorite young guys. For sure.
And I'm really becoming a fan recently of LaMelo. I really like.
Play. Have on this podcast too, man. And even Wyatt's got the other ball, Lonzo now. So we get Lonzo some love too. Lonzo, I wish he would have stayed a little more healthy. We're getting a little sidetracked, but like definitely wish he would have stayed a little more healthy. You know.
Yeah, I mean the playoffs. They're ramping up here. A lot of these games, they could be closed out by the time the next podcast rolls around here. Some could be rolling into like Game 7. Who knows?
Yeah, we have some real big games to talk about, like, the outcomes of, or, a preview of, depending on how the schedule works out there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So we go right into some other NBA news, some involving your Bucks here, Ryan. And actually the Hawks. Coincidence. The Bucks and the Hawks are going to be playing 2 preseason games in Abu Dhabi in October.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going with the overseas type stuff, which I know basketball is very big overseas. I mean, you look at the talent that's gone over there and played, and then either come back to the NBA, or in LaMelo's case, he didn't go to college. He just went overseas, played, and then got into the NBA. But I mean, I think it's good, and it should be a good matchup. I mean, kind of like how the NFL is doing with their different international games. Seems like every league's trying to really spread out over the world.
Yeah, and it's going to be really cool to see. something I think about whenever the NBA or NFL announce anything like this is the NCAA's aircraft carrier games that they always do.
Yeah.
They have like the camo jerseys and it's outside on an aircraft carrier. I've always thought that was so cool. You know, I would love to see the NBA do, and we keep bringing this up, Wyatt, do an outdoor NBA game.
Street ball.
Street ball, like on a green court or some shit, like real street, like on a blacktop, like it don't matter, like
chain nets, bro. I want to see chain nets or something.
I want to hear that shit, you know, like boom. Like, oh my god.
Even with hockey, you get like the outdoor classics and stuff.
Exactly.
Yep. So I would love to see them adapt a little bit and do something. You know, make sure you have clear weather. It's hard, you know, to really plan something like that. I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure they would have to build something because I mean they're gonna want to sell a ton of tickets for it, so they're gonna have to do something like figure the logistics of that. But man, if they can get like a street court, that would be awesome. Like outside, that would be amazing.
So it'd literally have something that looks like 2K, the park in 2K. That would be.
And you don't have to do it a lot. Do it like how NHL does it, and do it like twice a year. Like have them already like determined who the teams are gonna be, and just have it planned out or something.
Exactly.
It would be awesome, man.
I think that would be really, really cool. Be a good.
I think
addition.
it would be too.
Adam Silver, if you're listening.
Yeah. Get to it, man. In other news, Phoenix Suns head coach Monty Williams won Coach of the Year. NBA.
Congratulations to him. Well deserved. We were talking about how Phoenix has killed it all year long. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But they've killed it all year long. So
and that's even more surprising why what's happening is happening here in the playoffs. You know, they were the best team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, that's Luka though, man. Luka for a couple games straight, he's figuring it out. He's kind of trying to, you know, get his. He gets his, man.
This is what we have to do, and then just draws up all the game plans for all the players. It's like this is what we're gonna do to it.
But hey, congratulations to Monty Williams there.
Yeah, and in other award news, some controversial, depending on who you talk to. Nikola Jokic won MVP for the second straight year here. A lot of people saying it should have been Embiid. Some people saying it should have been maybe Giannis or someone else. All this, you know, it is what it is. I'm fine with Jokic being the MVP again, mainly because they have some stats here. He's the first 2,000, 1,500 season ever for a player. First to average 25, 13, and 6 in a season ever, and he averaged 27, 14, and 8. So he averaged above that. And he's also the first player in 10 points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, field goal percentage in the last 50 seasons. It's crazy. Like the numbers, it's mainly statistical. It seems. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't think the Nuggets would have even been in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think without Embiid, the Sixers still would have been a playoff team.
I mean, without Embiid, they lost those first two though, and then as soon as he so it's like. As soon as he comes back, those two, but that's the playoffs. There's a lot of factors that go into that. It's home, you know, so like, who knows? But I agree with you. I'm completely fine with Jokic winning that MVP based off of all those numbers, man. Like, how could you not? You know, how could you really not?
I can understand the argument for Embiid as well. I just think a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, just some people where you watch them play, you can tell they're dominant, and you know they help their team get better. Like Embiid, you can instantly watch him. I feel like Jokic, he's not really that flashy in a way.
Yeah, but he does his job. He gets the job done regardless.
He lets his play do the talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Tim Duncan brothers, you know, in the stands, like they'll do the talking for him too.
Yeah. Me and my brothers here.
You mess with me, you mess with them. You still messing with me,
and they're just standing in the back.
Just the bodyguard
beer bottle over his head. Cracks a beer bottle over his own head.
Yeah.
But congratulations to him, man. Like, well deserved. Kobe told him to go out and do it, and he went and did it twice. So congratulations to that dude, man.
Better luck next year.
Better luck next year, Joel Embiid. I'm tired of you crying. I'm tired of everybody crying. Joel Embiid should have won it. Like, yeah, I mean, like he was balling, but like, look, like you said, look at these numbers. Jokic is doing things that have never been done before. Joel Embiid was nice. But the Sixers, look at the position. I don't know. I feel like that team is better than Joel Embiid's MVP case. You know, like definitely Joker without him. If you switch the two, I don't know how well the Nuggets are doing if they even make the playoffs. You know, where the Sixers
And
are going
I
to
think
make playoffs with either one of them.
Murray and who's the other dude that's out? But Murray was out pretty much almost all season. Michael Porter. Yeah, both those guys were out a lot. So I feel like if they were in for a majority of the season, he might not have been MVP, but who knows? That's the thing. Who knows? They were out, and if he would have been out, they wouldn't have been making the playoffs. They would have been nobody would have been talking about him at all. And I don't know. I mean, the stats speak for themselves. I know some people don't want to rely just on stats for MVP, which it is what it is. I mean, you've had controversial stuff before. Steve Nash won it over Kobe when Kobe probably should have won it.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that.
Why tethering over that button?
But I'll just say that's one of the more famous examples of it. Mm-hmm. Steve Nash won it twice. And
twice in a row.
So, I mean, moving on to other news here. Sacramento Kings have agreed with Golden State assistant Mike Brown on a 4-year contract to become the next franchise head coach.
Hey, that's awesome. Mike Brown. Okay. I like to see it. So, I mean, I don't know. And it might
Great
be
hire for the Kings.
Might be a nice transition for the Kings here. You know, we've talked about it a lot on this channel, how they're losing a lot of games, but they have a lot of talent. They need something to just really make them that real cohesive unit, you know. They have a lot of young talent out there, though. So we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, we talked about
their franchise.
Yeah,
like a lot of people, man.
They're like a G League team, realistically, but like
I don't want to hate all too much. They follow us on Twitter, so I don't want to hate. That's one of the only sports teams that follow us is the Kings. So I'm cool with them.
Saying that they're a super young team with a lot of potential. They just need, you know, obviously they need to get things together to really in the position where they're fighting like the Suns where the Suns were a team that was bottom of the barrel a couple years ago, and look at them now. So it's easy. You just gotta get some good draft picks, get some young talent, refine it the right way. I mean, it's not easy. I don't mean it like that, but I think they definitely have potential. It's just it needs refined for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw
stop being this forgotten California team and just you know what, we're gonna put our our hats in the ring here, like the hell with the Lakers, the hell with the Clippers, like.
Hey, we still got a coach, and they do. So that's something they got that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on a previous podcast that they've been historically bad in the NBA here, like the past 10 plus years. So, I mean, I feel like this could be a hire that kind of helps them move in the right direction a little bit. Like you said, they got young, growing players here that they can develop. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about them Kings here in the next couple of years. I doubt it, but maybe.
Never know.
Mention the Clippers. Good segue. The Clippers forward Robert Covington has agreed to a 2-year, $24 million contract extension with the team.
Okay.
So they're keeping Robert Covington around.
Ain't gonna help them. They still ain't gonna ever win nothing until they get out of our building.
This is kind of old news at this point, but the NBA suspended Memphis's Dylan Brooks for his contact in Game 3 against Golden State against Jordan Poole.
Yep.
Oh, it was Gary Payton, wasn't it? My bad. For the elbow fracture, he sent him down. It was like they went up to the net and he kind of threw him down. Kind of a Grayson Allen and Alex Caruso thing that happened a while back. Kind of very similar situations, but I feel like this one was even more brutal. Even though this one was just an elbow fracture, I think Caruso's was a wrist. But it seemed like Gary Payton got chucked to the floor.
Yeah, it looked really bad. So it's the optics of it that got him where he is here.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nets said Ben Simmons underwent surgery on his back last Thursday here. So the Ben Simmons saga continues, fleecing teams.
I'm so tired of hearing about him. I
am too, bro.
It is like a broken record, and I just feel like he's one of those players that is eventually going to be like, you know what, we just don't want to deal with your headache, and we're not going to sign you. And then it's going to be like, but I have talent. No, you don't want to get on the court. What's... I'm just, like I said, I'm tired of hearing about, the Ben Simmons this, Ben Simmons that, bad attitude, doesn't want to play. Well, yeah, we know, it showed up, in the playoffs, but,
I mean, he has potential, but man, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or what, but I don't know. Maybe he'll work it out with the Nets, but if that doesn't happen, I don't know. Maybe we won't see much more of Ben Simmons going forward.
Yeah, I can't
see too many teams want to take a chance on that,
Yeah,
No.
because I at this point have no idea what type of player he even is at this point.
Yeah.
I just
We know he plays good defense, but that's like
it's like John Wall.
can't really
Like
shoot.
I don't know what John Wall is, what type of player he is anymore.
We haven't seen him in like 3 years.
Right? So like it's just it'd be hard to like give him a huge contract like something like that. You can be relegated to maybe like coming off the bench or something for now, like but I don't know. I just like you guys said, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's really that bad of an injury. I mean, obviously he got surgery, so something that was lingering maybe, but like I don't know, man. He's missed so much time just holding out for all this and just like Ryan said, I'm sick and tired of hearing Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Hopefully, we don't have to hear anything until like preseason, start of season next year.
Right.
And just the last bit of stuff I have here for the NBA before Ja Morant's untimely injury here. He's one of 3 players to have multiple 45-point playoff games before the age of 23, joining Kobe and LeBron James.
Elite company.
Tells you that
company.
That potential that Ja Morant has, man. I'm telling you, if he could stay healthy, he just keeps getting hurt, man. So it's making me worried about the longevity of his prime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because the bone bruise, you just kind of have to let it heal itself. You can't really do much about that, I don't think.
Right. Let it happen again.
Maybe it was just kind of a freak injury, hopefully, and
hope he's all
goes
good.
better going forward. Knee injuries are tough in the NBA.
Absolutely.
But before we roll into some NFL news, just have a little bit of, we don't really talk about too much, but WNBA news here.
Oh, okay.
Apparently they're looking to add 2 expansion teams within the next couple years.
Interesting. Okay.
They've had, I don't know if you heard about, they've been having such an influx of players that teams are like cutting high draft picks because they don't have the room for them. Like there's just not enough teams for all these players. Yeah.
Like, the NBA is definitely, as far as like women in basketball, have been growing like crazy over the last couple years, and then it even got huge or bigger with NBA 2K putting all those WNBA teams in the game for the last couple of years. So this doesn't surprise me at all. I think it's definitely growing. I'm one of those people that think like it's wild that LeBron makes in 1 year more than the entire WNBA like roster. Every single one of them combined doesn't make as much.
Like what you said, it seems like it gains popularity every year. Like
I hope they get paid for it. That's all. I hope they get paid for it. Just that's really cool. I love to see it.
I mean it really came from not only just just fans of it talking about it, but if the players are actually speaking up. There's just like there's no reason that all these great players and these high draft picks should not have a job. There's just not enough to go around at that point. So they got to add teams, and they're going to benefit from it, I feel.
Absolutely. More exposure, more cities,
Why not?
like everything. Better TV deal potentially.
Yeah. So with that, we can turn our heads over here to the NFL. The draft was a couple weeks ago. We're seeing a lot of rookie camps happening, a lot of like kind of voluntary workouts. I don't know if you've seen any videos from your guys' teams or not, but since you're on here, we have talked about the Packers here, over the course of the offseason and the draft, but you are the inside source. Like here, how do you feel about the state of your Packers team? I know we still have a decent amount of offseason here, so you can still do some stuff. But as of right now, how do you feel about your Packers?
I feel all right about them. I mean, I thought they had a pretty good draft. With all the talent that was, available deep in the draft this year. I thought it was a very well-rounded draft for Green Bay. And I seen Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee show today, and he was actually talking about the Packers are in a really good position to sign one of the 3 big wide receivers that are left in Julio Jones, Jarvis Landry, and Odell. And because now that the draft is over, these guys may have to forsake, the big money deals and go ring chasing, and I think he said something along the lines of like, Julio could sign a 1-year deal worth $3 million. Like, and if that's the case,
I can't see Julio getting a lot of money at all.
Yeah. No. And I mean, if out of all three of them, I think I'd like to have Landry the most. But I mean, it's at this point I would not be opposed. But then also, if that happens, we then now have a logjam at wide receiver. So we took 3 in the draft. We have Randall Cobb, Amari Rogers, and then we have Sammy Watkins that we just signed not too long ago. So I mean,
they all have risks, but the reward I feel would be nice because I mean you do have a lot of talent, so you may not have to use them on an every down basis. I mean Jarvis, I feel like you'd be able to the most out of all those guys.
Yeah.
But I think you guys will definitely get one of those players at this point. I feel like you have to just bring another veteran wide receiver into the mix there, especially with Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna make anybody a star pretty much. You throw in there, and I mean you got guys that already have names for themselves. It could only go well. I feel.
Yeah, and that's I feel the same way. I mean, it's I know all three of them come with their honestly though I don't think Jarvis really has any problems with it. You have Julio who's very injury prone, and then you have OBJ who's coming off of that that torn ACL.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
he might. Is he going to be ready for the season in time, or is he going to miss a couple games?
From what I heard, he may not even make it to. He may not be able to start until at least half the season.
Halfway through the season. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do you? Because I remember the best memory I have of that was like when that happened to Des Bryant there towards the end of his career. Like they were all waiting on him to come out back, I think, from an Achilles injury, and when he did, then I think he might have signed with
the Saints, right?
The Saints, yeah. And then he ended up tearing his ACL like first practice or something.
That was wild. I do remember that. Yeah.
I know they loaded over there in LA, but I mean, I feel like he should just sign like a 1 year here with the Rams just to return, see how that goes, and then you can just go wherever you want healthy next season. Go somewhere that like by the halfway through the season when you come back, they're going to be all right. They're going to be in a good position. You're not going to come back to a team that's like crumbling or they're not in a good position. That would suck.
Exactly. But I mean, kind of back to Green Bay. I mean, when it came draft day was just crazy as it was. I mean, I was sitting there watching the entire thing, and there's no trades in the top 10, and I was like, man, what is going on here? And then just all hell broke loose. I mean, we got AJ Brown going to the Eagles, which congratulations, by the way, it was a great pickup.
Thank you. I still can't believe it.
Still can't believe
it. And then we have Hollywood Brown going to Arizona, and then it's like I was like, okay, well, great. Now the Titans are going to need a wide receiver, so I bet you they leapfrog us, and they did. And it was just when it was our pick, I was like, at this point, I don't even want a wide receiver. The value is not there. And then they went with Quay Walker. I'm really excited to see that kid work. Because if you're a Packers fan, you know that we have been struggling with inside linebackers since Blake Martinez left and that type of thing. So I'm really happy there. And then Devontae Wyatt, like we've needed somebody beside Kenny Clark for the past few years now, because honestly, that run defense was awful. So, I mean, I'm really excited to see what our defense does. And then I'm really excited to see Christian Watson. He was my favorite pick, behind Olave and that type of thing, just because he could stretch the field. I'm just worried about, the other thing I'm worried about is he went to the FBS school, and that type of thing. And, sometimes, and that North Dakota State curse, it's kind of.
Carson.
Yeah. I mean, Carson, and then we don't know about Trey Lance yet, but.
Yeah.
So, but,
I think you guys are going to have a great defense this year.
I hope, man.
Because you guys are really heating up on defense, towards the end and into the playoffs. I'm jealous Rasul Douglas signed another deal with you guys because I was hoping he was going to come back to Philly. Because, oh, man, I hated letting him go because I knew he was going to be a stud.
Yeah, and he was such a – it was like out of the blue. I mean, because they signed him off the Cardinals practice squad. And it was like I was like, wow. I mean, he's really balling out. And he even said he would really take any type of money to stay in Green Bay. So, I mean, it was kind of a
why not?
done deal. I mean, it was like, they'll work it in. But I think Rodgers will be happy. I mean, he was on the Pat McAfee show during the draft. You know, I was watching the Pat McAfee show. I'm watching you guys' draft, and then I was also watching the real draft on my TV. So like, I had the tablet, the phone, I had everything going. But like, you know, he was on there and he said defense wins championships. And you know, they were while he was on there, they had a Devontae Wyatt pick, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the kid from Georgia, he's a defensive lineman." He goes, "Yeah," he's like, "Oh, he's gonna be real good next to Kenny." So it's like, the man does his homework. He knows. Like, he's
yeah. He knows it's more than just him and a couple wide receivers out there. You know.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, with Green Bay, you know that with as long as you guys got Aaron Rodgers, you guys are gonna be in the playoffs.
Yep, you got a chance.
In competition for that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I was honestly hoping to see a Jordan Love trade. You know, like this.
It's possible, man. It's still possible.
It is. I mean, I would be more surprised if he went somewhere before Baker, but I mean,
I don't know. I'll get to that here in a bit, but it seems like not a lot of teams are high on Baker or want to give up anything for him right now.
But they said, from what I was reading, like before the draft, they said if Jordan Love would have not if he would have stayed, I forget how they worded it, but Jordan Love would have been the best quarterback in this year's draft.
Yeah.
Had he like actually stayed another year and then took advantage of the COVID year, you know, to come back for an extra year. Jordan Love would have been, you know, top 5 pick. They said he would have been. It would have been
would have been an opportunity to have his own team somewhere.
Yeah. So
behind Aaron Rodgers, he was pissed off because you were drafted, and a lot of controversy and stuff.
Yeah, well, talk to the locker room.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, Green Bay fans, we got to move past that. Like, we just have to admit it was a bad pick, and maybe it wasn't a bad pick, but
did you see the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love stuff during like the Bulls and Bucks playoff games? Yeah, it was like Aaron Rodgers was like courtside, and then like I guess Jordan Love was there, but he was like way up in the nosebleeds, like next to this pillar. And I was like, man, Aaron Rodgers couldn't even part owner of this team couldn't even got his like backup QB a good seat at
the same game. You know,
at the same game, he was way up in the like towards the nosebleed. He's just chilling by this post.
Was that the same game that Randall Cobb was with him? Was with Rodgers?
I'm not sure.
Rodgers was chilling with somebody.
It was like the game. I think it was the game where we got our only dub. I guess you guys, to be honest.
Well, you know what's funny you say about that being up there at the pillar? That's kind of like deja vu with his mom in his first game against, you know, when he started against Kansas City this past year. Did you see his mom? Like,
he was up in the nosebleeds.
Like the last because you could see the back of the stadium behind her. I remember that.
Yeah. That was great. No respect.
That's the first thing that clicked in my head that you said. I was like, oh, that's kind of like his mom.
Happened again. Disrespectful.
He's probably just like secretly like just.
Aaron Rodgers says, "Fuck them kids. I don't care. This is my team."
Yeah, I could see him being like that, even though he's kind of like, you know, I'm not gonna do what Favre did to me, and it's like, whatever, man. You know that.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill got some shit for saying that. Just like, hey, it's not my job, man. Like, I'm here.
Man. Do not even go into this because it gets me so fired up because it's like Ryan Tannehill says this. Oh, let's talk about it for about 2 or 3 days. Rodgers says this. We're gonna talk about it for 4 months until the whole season starts. It's like, oh, come on.
That's how it was with Tom Brady, man. Having Tom Brady as your quarterback, you just like, oh, Tom Brady does one thing. We're gonna talk about it for 6 months, and I'm just like, God damn it. I like talking about Tom Brady when it was good.
Listen, I think the reason that is because Ryan Tannehill is nowhere near the level that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers is. So that's why I kind of get swept under the rug. They're like, people outrage about it for a couple of days, and then they're like, nah, and then like Aaron Rodgers, what? Like it was the same thing kind of with Brett Favre, right?
Like, look at the shirt that
Brett
Aaron
Favre
Rodgers
was like, I don't want to teach Aaron Rodgers or whatever. He's like, that's not my job.
They were following Brett Favre around, you know, like different. Like, he landed in Minnesota. Holy shit, is he going to sign with the Vikings? You know what I mean? Like things like that. Just, oh God, it's crazy out there.
And there's like stories out there of when, like, I mean, Rodgers didn't really help his case because when he first met Favre at the cafeteria at like the training camp or whatever. He was like, hey, what's up, old man? Or he said, hey, grandpa, something like that. And then it just turned into one big like,
Brett Favre's like, oh, okay, this is how it's gonna
yeah.
be, huh?
And there was T-shirts, vulgar T-shirts made up about Rodgers, and then it just like.
So now I'm making sure you're not getting any what is that, Hanes jeans ever again. You cut off
the Wrangler.
Wrangler, yeah, you cut off. You never gonna get another pair of Wranglers ever again, Aaron.
Oh God, you think you need icy hot, huh? Oh, you ain't getting no. What is this? Like that gold
cut off.
You know what I mean? That gold.
Oh, the copper sleeve.
Fit. You ain't never.
That's what it is.
Ever in your life. Ever.
Cut off. Consider yourself cut off. You're bad.
Some ice baths.
Oh, man.
What other type of news you got for the NFL here?
I mean, we talked about Jarvis Landry. Apparently, he turned down a 1-year contract with the Browns to return. And he was even talking about being open and returning to the Browns, and he already turned down a 1-year. Other than the Packers, he's been linked a lot to the Ravens, so be on the lookout for that.
Okay, I like that.
Ravens looking for a new wide receiver, letting go of Hollywood Brown.
And some of them run packages, too. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Apparently, Josh Lambo, the kicker, has filed a lawsuit against the Jacksonville Jaguars seeking $3.5 million salary for 2021, plus damages for emotional distress from his incident with Urban Meyer, where he was kicked and verbally abused.
And the team has come out again like, oh, yeah, we addressed this back, when it happened. We offered all this help. We offered blah, blah, blah. And anything else he says is completely false. Like, damn, like, I'm pretty sure everybody pretty much takes this story as fact by this point, like everybody can picture Urban Meyer kicking this dude, saying exactly what he said. Like, just I could picture it clear as day.
It's not far-fetched.
Yeah, no. It's not that surprising, man. This dude didn't take the plane home with his team after a loss. He went to a bar and had some chick that's not his wife dancing. I used to love Urban Meyer, but now I'm just like,
this dude didn't know who Aaron Donald was.
Yeah.
Who's this 99 guy?
That 99 guy. Learning all this about Urban Meyer the last couple of years, it's just like it makes me realize why everybody was warning me before when he was a Buckeye. Like everyone's like, oh, this thing, Urban Meyer. And I'm like,
hey, coach, man, what are you talking about? National championship.
Everywhere he goes, he ends up just
that makes so much sense now that I am so glad you said that, because now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, there were a lot of people that said stuff to me like, oh, you might be winning with Urban Meyer, but
than me who knew better, who I didn't really know what Urban Meyer was, how he did programs dirty. I didn't know, so like I was just happy that we had a winning coach and we beat Michigan every year. That's what I was happy about. Like, come on over. Oh God, that's one thing. He never lost to Michigan, so I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Urban.
Other than that dude crazy. He out here just causing trouble, wreaking havoc.
On his way back to the NCAA.
Oh my God, man! He needs to go back just doing like the Saturday shows, like doing like the
analysis,
the pregame and stuff. Yeah,
I was cool with that.
49ers are expected to move Jimmy Garoppolo in June or July after shoulder rehab. Apparently,
so we got 8 now. So that's that's a little bit ridiculous. You would think that a team would, I don't know. I guess they're gonna just wait and see.
They want to see how he recovers from his shoulder surgery.
He's going to wait that long for a starting QB.
Yeah,
not to mention they'll save money because after the June 1st cut or the June 1st deadline for contracts, they'll save a bunch of money by doing that, by waiting till June or July.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody get a Band-Aid right now who, like, if it doesn't work out, we can roll with this guy for the season, but, like, they have their eyes on Jimmy. Like, so there's probably some teams out there that they're monitoring that situation pretty closely.
Panthers, probably. I could see him totally trading for, like, Jimmy G or something.
Talking with Baker, talk about how Sam's their dude. But,
maybe Seahawks, who knows?
Yeah, because I don't see the 49ers trading in division, though. I mean...
Yeah, true.
Because that could spell disaster.
Most likely Panthers, probably.
Yeah.
Anything.
But honestly, isn't that like the only team left? I mean, that's
Pretty much.
really looking for a quarterback.
Unless someone just wants to trade for him, bring him in as a backup or something, keep him. I don't know. I doubt they would do that too. But apparently, I mean, all signs are pointing towards Trey Lance being a starter this year. It seems.
They're gonna roll with them. They're gonna try it.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
As well.
I mean, you drafted him.
Jimmy ain't the answer.
Drafted him in the first couple picks. You might as well play him at this point. You can't just have him sit another season. I feel.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the amount that you spent on him there.
Exactly. Another news here: Ravens signed running back Mike Davis, bolstering that running back room there. And the biggest news of the week: Tom Brady, not even retired from football yet. He just came out of retirement a couple weeks ago. Apparently, he's going to be joining Fox Sports as his lead NFL analyst when he stops playing. And not only that, he's going to be signing a 10-year, $375 million deal. And he's going to make more from this 10-year deal than he did in his entire playing career, which is crazy. Apparently, his NFL earnings is $333 million over his lifetime here. And he's going to be making $375 million, which is mind-blowing.
It's insane. And like you were saying before the podcast, now we have Tom Brady for the next X amount of years. You know, even after he retires. I'll be hearing Tom Brady all the time, seeing that little smile. He's, like all the time. It's going to be Tom. And I'm here for it. Yeah, let's go. Tom Brady.
Too, man.
Let's go. And I'm cool because now everybody likes Tom Brady. All of a sudden everybody's cool with Tom Brady. So hey, finally.
Tampa Tom's cool, man. Even when Tom was evil.
Everybody seems to like Tampa Tom. They didn't like him when he was Darth Vader, but they like him when he's, cool guy. He's a real cool guy.
I like drunk ass tequila Tom. Getting carried through the parade and stuff. Throwing the Super Bowl from boat to boat. Cool Tom. Chilling Tom. I like that.
This is free Tom.
But I don't think anybody anticipated a player of his caliber going into commentating as a lead analyst. I don't think anybody would. That the equivalent would be I can't imagine Michael Jordan out here commentating NBA or being on that panel with Chuck and Shaq in them.
It's like what really reminded me of was as far as the gravity of that is a John Madden. This. He is, and only the way John Madden, that name is synonymous with football. Brady's name is synonymous with football. But
you would think of him more as an owner, if he bought a stake in a team or wanted to run an organization.
That goes back to this, where if you want to be an owner, here's $337 million over 10 years. You know what I mean?
He does this commentating thing for so long and then buys a team.
That is a shitload. And I'm sure he has many different revenues of making money and things like that. But
TB12 stuff.
It's just a deal too good to turn down type of thing. You're not playing football and they're still going to pay you $37 million a year just to talk about football. You know what I mean?
Get back
and you work
a
couple months out of the year, not even.
Yeah, exactly. It's a part-time job realistically. So he can do all the other stuff that he wants to do. I think it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. Tom Brady, get out of the league, retire.
Apparently, he's not only be on call with Kevin Burkhardt, but he's also going to serve as an ambassador for Fox, and particularly with respect to client and promotional initiatives. So he's going to be out here meeting and greeting with people, kind of boosting Fox's stock and, trying to make money for the NFL and everybody. He's going to be the pretty boys. A poster boy for the NFL, he has been the past 20 years.
I want to keep it going. So I'm happy for it. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see it. Because we're gonna have the Manning cast too. We have Tony Romo, so it's really getting really good again. So it got really boring.
The Manning cast, it's so cool seeing Eli and Peyton do it, and it's a whole different feel because theirs is just way more relaxed. They can really talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. They're chilling watching the game. Tom, he's going to be getting analytical into everything. They're going to be doing this here. I remember this whenever I played against this team 10 years ago or whatever. He's going to be talking. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be Tony Romo times 2,000, 10,000. It's going to be crazy.
I'm really for it.
That's what I was going to say, because I think really Tony Romo kicked this off. Like, once everybody's seen how well, like, Tony Romo could sit in the booth and literally break down the defense and was like, look, they're going to do this.
Plays before they even happen. Like, they're going to do this here.
I think that's what really kicked it off. And they're like, wow, we can have some of these former quarterbacks really come in here and, you know, make it interesting.
Does it every play. Just like, they're going to do this here by this like, he's going to be picking these defenses apart while, like, real time for everybody.
He's seen everything already. Yeah. Like, I can't wait for it, man. It's going to be really cool.
Let's just hope he's better at golf this year.
Yeah. And then send him to the Super Bowl. Have him do, like, commentate the Super Bowl.
God, it feels good to be back here. Like, he's gonna say some cheap shit like that, you know. Like,
this is my 10th Super Bowl appearance, 9th Super Bowl appearance. Something crazy.
Actually, add that to the stats.
11.
Speaking of former Patriots, did you have something, Vern? Sorry.
Oh no! I was just I'm like, that would be actually his 11th Super Bowl. But
it's 11th, yeah, it's something great. Another outrageous number for somebody. Former Patriots running back Sony Michel signed with the Dolphins.
Traitor, how could you sign with the Dolphins? Like, whatever, I don't care. Sony Michel, he was cool with the Rams. I saw something that 3 of his last 4 seasons, 3 of his first 4 seasons here, he was only 4 seasons, he's been over 800 yards rushing. It's pretty respectable, I mean, he's a first-round draft pick, so you would expect more of him, but he's been consistent.
Super Bowls. He just won one with these Rams here.
Won a Super Bowl as a rookie with the Patriots, where he was very crucial in that. He was a great running back for us, and just won another with the Rams. So he's 4 years in and already got 2 Super Bowls.
Crazy.
Now you go to the Dolphins.
Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson said that he would like to see an expansion team happen. That he would like to have another team in Dallas.
I heard about this.
I feel like Jerry Jones would be pissed. He's like, I don't want that happening. Not under my watch.
Not under my watch. I'm the richest NFL owner. He's gonna go off on all this. Like, the Cowboys are worth $2.8 billion, and you won't take a part of that.
He said, his quote was, Dallas needs an expansion team, and he said we would be able to sustain 2 NFL teams better than LA or New York would. Can.
I know Texas is booming as far as everybody's population and people moving out there, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. I would hate to see 2 Dallas teams. That would suck, but it's not a bad idea.
I don't think it's going to take anything away from the Cowboys. I mean, they have such a huge fan base and passionate fans. As much as I loathe them,
everybody thought Texans were going to be a threat to the Cowboys.
Yeah, even if they made another team in Dallas, I don't think it's going to be a threat whatsoever. I don't think any Cowboys fans are going to jump ship and go to a new team, even though that new team did just about as much that year as Dallas here in the past 20 years. So,
exactly.
Hey, who knows?
They might
mark my words. You wait. If this does not happen, that Dallas doesn't get a second team, there will be a 30 for 30 in 10 or 20 years about how it almost happened, but Jerry Jones was behind it all and was
no, I can't allow this to happen. He's greasing pockets.
Yeah,
money out here.
See, the mayor's coming out talking about how terrible of an idea it is. I
can't have 2 teams in Dallas, not while I'm still the owner of the Cowboys.
Yeah, I could just see it being Mark Cuban or something, getting in there.
Yeah. We gotta call it the Dallas Mavericks 2.0. That's what we're gonna call it. Mark, I don't think that's a good name. No, it's a great name. Dallas Mavericks 2.0.
Fine, we'll just go with the Dallas Shark Tanks. We'll
football team.
Dallas Shark Tanks.
Be like the Washington football team. It's the Arlington football team.
Oh my God.
On to another NFC East team. Giants and former Pro Bowl cornerback James Bradbury. He's being released. So high-profile corner here, former Pro Bowler, cap casualty, is out there. And not gonna lie, I'm hoping Philly goes out and scoops him. Yeah. We need a cornerback. We need a second cornerback here opposite of Slay.
Just could absolutely use one as well, man. So I feel I'm running for that too.
While not elite, I think he would be an upgrade over Nelson, who we had last year. I forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take a bit. In other news, Richard Sherman, all-pro cornerback, is in deep talks with Amazon for a key role in their programming this coming season.
Interesting, because I know they're taking over Thursdays.
Yeah, so you may be seeing him in some capacity at some point here. Ndamukong Suh is unlikely to return to the Buccaneers this season, so it's looking like he could be on his way out.
Retire.
Yes,
I didn't say anything about retirement, but
retire. Get out of here. Possible. Stop stepping on people. He used to love stepping on Aaron Rodgers, man. It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. It wasn't just Rodgers either. It was a couple of our offensive linemen as well.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah,
he loves him and Rodgers had beef. Let's just say that. He loves stepping on the Packers.
I was just about to say, I just watched that YouTube video of SB Nation's beef. Between him and Rodgers. I mean, it wasn't like as good as like their other episodes, but
would just get chippy.
Yeah, and it was like it was just more or less like, and then it really cooled down when he went to the Dolphins, and obviously Rodgers stayed in Green Bay, but I never liked him. I always thought he was such a dirty player, and I was like,
yeah, he's always had that reputation. But I mean, it seems like he's been pretty decent for the Buccaneers here these past couple of years, so maybe he still has something left in the tank.
I think he's going to fit well with another team, only because with Buccaneers basically drafting, I think Logan, no, that wasn't. They drafted a defensive tackle really to stay beside Vita Vea. So, I mean, it was kind of like, we're prepared if you want to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I only have a couple more things here. Chargers announced they signed Kyle Van Noy, veteran linebacker.
Yeah.
Former Patriot and Dolphin.
That defense bolstering up even more, man. The Chargers are going to be dangerous next year. That AFC West, I can't wait to see.
Yeah, that defense is going to be amazing, man. Mm-hmm. And that offense, as long as they can stay consistent all year, because for some reason they're so wishy-washy these past couple years.
They got to figure out their
games.
Right.
Yeah. But man, that defense
there.
Yeah, that defense can help them tremendously, even if their offense is having like a down game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be over here waving my little Raiders flag. So
yeah,
Devontae, buddy.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a source from a team that was expressed interest in Baker Mayfield that they had talks, but they cooled, not wanting to pay the asking price and feeling that he should be cut. Their follow-up comment was, "No one's trying to do the Browns any favors in this situation."
Good. Good. That's what I need to hear, because like the Browns think they could just weasel their way into Deshaun Watson and become a successful franchise while meanwhile doing Baker as dirty as they possibly can.
So dirty.
So good. This is what the Browns deserve. They're going to have to cut Baker.
This
is what you get.
That's what it seems like it's going to come down to. Nobody wants to trade for him.
Yeah.
The last thing I heard was like someone said that like they basically couldn't get anything better than a 4th round pick. Like it's not like
now all these teams you're seeing like scouts and all these like player people from within these organizations saying that he should have went in like a 2nd or a 3rd round. Like he shouldn't have been going in the 1st round in that draft.
Yeah.
Like they like I don't know. People are really trying to diminish the value of Baker right now, and that's on purpose. I feel.
Yeah,
absolutely. People are leaking this,
trying to make it just as bad as it possibly can be for Cleveland.
Yeah.
There.
I don't even remember who else was in that draft. That was there any like other like high profile quarterbacks in that draft?
Not that I could think of. I'm sure there was.
Not that I could think of.
But I can't.
Because Goff and Wentz, that was a different. That was like a year before, I think.
Yeah. And then I keep thinking, I was like, it wasn't the Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes draft.
I don't think so.
Because
I don't know.
I don't remember. Because I do remember him going 1 overall, and then they had a few picks later that they took Denzel Ward from Ohio State.
5 quarterbacks were selected in that 1st round. Okay, let me go ahead and listen to.
Josh Rosen was one of them.
Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen.
There he
Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
Okay.
And he went number 1 overall.
Yeah, he went number 1 overall over all of them there. You know what I mean? It's just like, what in the world were they thinking, dude? Like,
But then, I mean, then again, only
Old Brownies.
out of all those quarterbacks, 2 of them are now, great players. I mean,
Yeah.
Rosen fizzled out in 2 years. Sam Darnold just never took off with the Jets.
Josh Rosen never did anything, man.
Rosen ended up on a bunch of different squads.
Yeah, and he was like on 4 teams in like 2 years or 3 years or something.
Yep. And then it was, I mean, Lamar and Allen were the only 2.
Yeah. Allen, is now probably in one of, if not the best team in the NFL right now. Like, I feel like the Bills, like, they were Super Bowl contenders last year, and they're probably even more so this year with all their additions they've added.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of taken a tumble there a little bit as far as the pieces that they've lost.
There's like every year they're like, all right, we added this, this, and this. That was our problem. Now maybe we can win.
Yeah.
Nope, not this time. All right, we'll fix this, this, and this. Now can we win?
Oh, damn, the overtime rule. Okay, let's fix the overtime rule. Now,
next year, we're going to add Von Miller. We're going to add a couple other nice pieces to this defense, work it out, get a running back. We'll be all right. We're going to go back and get them this year.
Yeah, because I even think they had a good draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So, I mean,
Yeah, so I think the Bills, oh, man, they're probably going to win that division. Sorry, Vert, but I think they're probably going to be one of the best teams in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Unless they go through, like, another, like, string of games where they just look weird, like they did last year towards the end of the season. They just didn't look themselves.
Yeah.
And now that I think of it, we actually play that division this year. So us against the Bills is going to be,
Yeah.
I'm going to be excited for that game.
Watch out for Mac Jones.
The last bit of news I have here is this is schedule week. The schedule for all the teams officially come out on the 12th, but over the course of the week, they're kind of slowly releasing like the, certain games. We have 3 London games this coming year. We have the Vikings versus the Saints. We have the Giants versus your Packers here.
Oh.
And we also have the Broncos versus the Jaguars, because you can't have a London game without them Jaguars.
Right. That's the home team, man. That's the home team. You got to have Jacksonville over there. So I love it. Every year they're getting more and more, we're kind of seeing, COVID kind of made it take a little bit of a hit, but we're getting right back into it. And now they've even expanded to Germany, so I'm super excited about all these international games.
I can't. I never thought I'd see this happen with the Packers, honestly, because they would not give up. Yeah, they wouldn't give up home games, and because of their streak and because of the season ticket holders. And then when it came to away games, nobody wanted to give that away game up because of the revenue the Packers fans bring to their stadium.
Now you probably because they added the extra game to the season now, and then you're like, fine, we'll give you that extra game then.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
That was the whole reasoning behind the extra game. We're like, we gotta get fucking Green Bay over across the seas here.
I know those.
Every other team is fine with it except the damn Packers. Fine, we'll give you an extra game so you guys can go across the pond.
Yeah, and that's what it was. I mean, literally, they were like, "We're not giving up a game," and I mean, I get it. It's all money.
Okay.
You mentioned the Germany game here. We also got that announcement. It's going to be the Seahawks versus the Buccaneers, which would have been good had Russell Wilson still been on the Seahawks here coming up this season.
Yeah, so it's going to be a
bloodbath. Yeah.
Going to get a lot of fans for Tom Brady in Germany because he's just going to fucking whoop up on the Seahawks that day. So look forward to that.
And we also have the Mexico game announced this year as well. And that's going to be the San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals.
Awesome. That's going to be really cool to see. Hopefully, I know it's inevitable, but I hate when red teams play each other. It just bothers me a little bit. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me when other, like a blue and a blue team will play. Like when red teams play, it just bothers me a little bit. I don't know why.
Too much red. Too much. It's too bright.
I don't know. Usually it's like red jerseys and like white. You know what I mean? But it's just there's the accents. I don't know. It just bothers me. So like thinking about a Cardinals versus
end zones are red most of the time.
Looks like too much red. I don't know, but it is what it is. I'm excited for all of these international games, and we got a couple. That one won't be too weird on the time, but the London games are going to be like 9:30 in the morning for us over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get used to that.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, I think I maybe woke up early to watch. I think it was like when they started first doing the London games. I woke up to watch them, but now, man, I don't even unless it's the Eagles. I don't usually bother to wake up to watch. Like if they're on when I wake up, I'll watch it, but I don't force myself to get up to watch them.
Right.
Because it's mostly like teams I don't care about, or like the Jaguars or another terrible team.
Jaguars Bengals, I remember it was the one year. It ended up being a crazy game because like everybody tuned in at the very end of it because it was like 31-31 or something like last year or so. It was very recent. I remember that Jaguars Bengals, but like nobody watched it until like noon, when people like 11 when people started like clicking on it. But yeah.
And we just a couple more games here. We have a week 2 Monday Night Football doubleheader announced already. We got the Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills at 7:15.
Bills go whoop up on them in prime time.
Great game. Derrick Henry gonna be back.
Oh
Full effect. It's gonna be awesome. And then at 8:30, you got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles, which is gonna be nice. We get a week 2 Monday Night Football game. New look Eagles versus the Vikings. I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Is that like a 9:30 game?
It's 8:30.
And the other one's at 7?
7:15. Yeah, so they're gonna be overlapping.
Wow.
I don't like that. But
they should have made the Buffalo and Tennessee one a little early.
6 something or 5 something, But it is what it is. That's I kind of like the doubleheaders. How every year for a while there they opened up the first week of the year doubleheader, and the Raiders always played that second game, and it started at like 10 or 10:30 because it didn't matter for them over there. So it sucked, for like people like my dad who wanted to watch the whole game, as a Raiders fan. But it was like the sun coming up in the morning, and the Raiders were going to play that 10 o'clock doubleheader game to open the season, and I kind of I'm sad that they took that away from us, but oh well.
Yeah, and I do believe that that Minnesota Philly one is in Philly too for the Monday Night Football. So that'll be nice. That's the first home game of the season.
Nice.
So that'll be nice. And we actually had a Christmas Day game announced, and it's going to be the new look Russell Wilson Broncos versus the defending champions, the Los Angeles Rams, which should be a great Christmas Day game.
This should be awesome. I can't wait for it. Christmas football is great. This is 3 straight years, I think, now where they have Christmas football. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's not necessarily a game I get to watch the entirety of, but I'm here for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, because the Packers played on Christmas last year against the Browns, and that's when Baker threw like 4 picks in the first half or something like that. I was like, this is the best Christmas present ever.
But that's all the NFL news I have for this week. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to add here before we go. We can just roll right into the bias bubbles here. Okay. If you guys want to talk. Anything you want to talk about as far as your teams, Ryan? I know we did talk about the Bucs and the Packers a little bit here.
Well, my Mets, the first team, 20 wins. I mean,
first team, 20 wins?
Yeah, and they just got their 21st just a couple hours ago.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're really rolling. I think that they're playing great. And we don't even have DeGrom yet. I mean, he hasn't even pitched yet this year. So, but, yeah, I mean, it looks good. Vern was saying earlier about how LeBron, he makes more than, like, some of the teams in
the NBA, WNBA.
And stuff. And that's also going over, like, there's a real bad thing going over in baseball because, like, Max Scherzer, our, number 2 pitcher, number 1 pitcher, whatever you want to look at him as, he is making more than the entire Pittsburgh Pirates organization. It's payroll.
Damn. What?
Yes.
That's outrageous.
There's my crazy salary cap today already, right? But no, and so they have like a luxury tax. So if they get above a certain, then they have to pay some odd amount of money. But but the thing, what's going on right now is like the Oakland A's, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, like they're all under fire right now because of not only how bad they're doing, like on purpose, but also because like they will not put any money. The owners won't put any money into the teams, and it just goes to show. Max Scherzer right now is making more than the entire Pirates organization. Like what? Like that's not outrageous. Yeah, and it's crazy to think, but no, my Mets are playing good. We threw a no-hitter against the Phillies.
Yep.
And my entire family are
Nice.
Phillies fans, and it was well known. I was told many expletives when I got good, and then just the other night, Thursday night, I was watching the end of the game while I was waiting for Multiverse of Madness to come on. They were down 7-1 in the ninth inning, came back, won it 8-7.
Yeah.
And they said like that record, the record is like astronomical. Like the record's like 2 and like 870 something. Like
as far as the times that's
yeah,
right.
as far as the team being down 6 runs in the ninth inning and coming back and winning.
Wow. Man, I'm so glad that there's a salary cap in NBA and NFL, because I feel like some of these teams, man, they were just like, all right, just give us all these good play. I mean, it's happening somewhat already, but it would be even more so if you just didn't have a salary cap.
Yeah.
Like the Lakers would just scoop LeBron. You would have like all these
We
stars,
spent a ton of money this year and didn't even make the playoffs. So don't always.
But you would be able to
the wrong pieces.
You'd be able to afford like max younger players to bring on the league.
Yeah. And then just with the Flyers, I mean,
we don't talk about the Flyers, man. We don't want to talk about the Flyers.
I stopped watching, I think, in December. I was like, this team's bad. I didn't even make it to a game this year and all that.
I've never seen a team go from like, oh, we could do something here. Like when we won like 2 series in the playoffs, all right, during 2020, and then just crumble. We're like, we have no shot. We are terrible. Rebuild it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's hope. I mean, the draft lottery was tonight, and the Flyers fell down from the 4th pick to the 5th pick, so that's Flyers luck. But there's that, and then Barry Trotz got fired by the Islanders, who's a very well-known head coach. He was the head coach when the Capitals won the Cup just a few years ago, and they let him walk, and he went to the Islanders. So I mean, and the Flyers are looking for a new head coach, so if that's
it's possible.
In the realm of possibility, because he's a defensive head coach, and
can't believe they traded Giroux away, man. I was heartbroken.
I shed a tear.
I was heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean, and it's possible he comes back. I mean, his contract's up after this year, and if Florida doesn't do anything, which right now they're in a heavy battle with Washington, so I mean, it could happen. I mean, but
seems like he's been playing well for him from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, they said I seen something like last night that he didn't score a goal, but he's just been like more of like the assisting guys. He's like he's getting
that
the
veteran presence, helping leading that team.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just the Flyers. So I'm like, baseball's in full swing. That's why I had to wear the Mike Piazza jersey. So I love baseball, so I mean, it's
being Verd over here waiting for football season, man.
Please.
No, me too. I mean, I'm like watching. I watched the Scarlet game the other night, the Scarlet and Silver game with Ohio State. So I'm waiting on that, and I just really want to see Marvin Harrison Jr. play for Ohio State and see how well he does. And just that whole wide receiver core is just going to be amazing. Julian Fleming played in Bloomsburg and that type of thing. So like don't get me wrong, bring back football, but like until then,
it's baseball season. I completely feel you. It's basketball season, baseball season right now.
Yeah, your Bucks, man. You still got a chance here at the chip.
Since our boys are in in the game, so
exactly.
We got that to deal with.
Exactly.
Verd, you got anything for your bias bubble?
I only have one thing for my Patriots, and it's that we signed 8 restricted or undrafted free agents. I didn't write all of them down, especially because who knows how many of them even really make the roster. But we did sign some undrafted rookies. But as far as the Lakers, Genie Bus, not happy at all. Okay, and I'm with you. I'm not happy either, Genie. I'm very disappointed the same way you are. Okay, like if you spent all this money way over the luxury cap and everything, and he didn't even make the playoffs. It just irritates me, it irks my soul. After going through what we went through, and we've talked about this on this podcast, the last 15 years, even though we've won a championship, the last 12 years, something like that, have been some of the historically worst years for the Lakers, period. So I don't want to go back down into the hole that we went in the mid 2010s. That was really bad. So please, LeBron is going to peace out so fast. He's going to be going so fast.
Come to Chicago,
If there's any indication of it heading that direction, he's gone, bro. He is gone. Apparently, we have.
I feel.
Who knows?
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's good now. But apparently, the Lakers are going to be interviewing about 8 to 10 candidates for head coach. Right now, they're going through the Zoom training interviews with them and everything. And LeBron said that he made a declaration that he's never going to miss the playoffs again in his career. Okay?
Man, this is how a Sunny episode starts. LeBron says that he's never going to miss the playoffs again. Next year, the Lakers missed the playoffs.
Black's being LeBron never made the playoffs again. But I wanted to put this on record. LeBron said that he's never missing the playoffs again. So as soon as he misses the playoffs next year,
lot of things.
Bring this shit up. Exactly. He's not apologized to the Lakers Nation how many times now?
I remember before the season, everybody made fun of the Lakers because of the old roster. And he said, "Remember this. Remember
keep the same energy.
Keep that energy when we." Yeah. Kind of kept the same energy, Braun. We're
the same energy all year long. They shit on Russ all year long. Kept the same energy, if not made it more. And we still ended up missing the playoffs. LeBron's missing free throws to win shit at the end of the game. Oh my God!
Audacity to say this again.
The audacity to even tweet. Get the fuck.
I will never miss the playoffs again. That's a bold statement, man. You better make sure you and GD try to figure that roster out.
You'll have to tell Elon to ban LeBron from Twitter then.
Right? He's talking nonsense. He's out here spreading false information.
Yeah.
That's all I got for my bias bubble this week. They didn't have too much.
I did actually have 2 of the coaches you guys interviewed already. Apparently you interviewed former Trailblazers coach Terry Stotts.
Yep.
And you also interviewed Mark Jackson from the Warriors.
So far. And that's just the first stage of it here. So I told you I'm really pulling for Mark Jackson. That would be my pick for next head coach here. It'd be interesting to see if we even have a chance to get Doc Rivers, but that would be interesting as well. But I think Mark Jackson would be great to
really gonna run Doc Rivers out of town if they get eliminated here.
Yeah.
Are they still interested in the Bucks assistant head coach?
I think so, but we'll see what happens.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, how far he gets to playoffs.
I heard he was in the mix, and that's why I was kind of. And then you said there's 2 coaches. I was like, oh well, maybe he's. Because I like our coaching staff. Especially Mike Budenholzer. But
yeah, I think they interviewed him last week because we talked about that on the show.
Okay.
I really don't have too much here. As far as Bulls, apparently they're not going to be bringing Derek Jones Jr. back, so he's going to be a free agent here. And just some other schedule leaks for the Eagles. That's the only other news I have. Week 10, we're going to be playing the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football. Another Monday Night Football game for us there. Oh, if Carson Wentz is even playing or if he's still a Washington Commander at that point.
We'll see. It's pretty deep in the season. A lot could happen. 2.5 months into the season. Oh no.
The other the rumor is apparently that's the first game against Washington is week 10. And apparently the other one is week 16 or 17. So it's gonna be we might not even see Wentz these 2 games.
Yeah, for real.
And the other game that leaked was our week 14 game. Apparently it's against the Steelers and it's at home. So
nice.
Maybe I can convince Alex to go to a Philly home game.
Hey, depending on them ticket prices, I would be interested in going to that shit too, especially if both of you guys are going. That's
a 425 game.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's week 14, so it's gonna be cold as shit probably too.
Yeah, fuck it.
It's been a while since I've been to the link, so I would love to go see a game here.
The Patriots play the Steelers in Pittsburgh this year. So like it's already in my mind, like
listen,
how do I
guys
get
go to that?
game?
I'll go to that game with you guys, but that means you guys are gonna go to Philly with me.
I would trade off, man. I would fucking do it, but like I'm like, how do I get to that Pittsburgh New England game? I need to fucking do it. So that's where my mind is. But
I would go see that shit with you guys. I'll wear my Eagles jersey too.
Yeah, fuck it, dude.
Not if it's like a Monday night game or a Thursday night game. I won't wear it then. But if it's on a Sunday when my Eagles play, I'll totally wear my shit.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm trying to get my Rachel's brother-in-law, Drew. He's a big Miami Dolphins fan, and the Packers played the Dolphins in Miami this year, and they're thinking about making a trip down for their anniversary or something like that. And I just kind of like sent the schedule like, hey, Green Bay's playing in Miami, so what I'm doing.
You gotta think though. Whether it's if we go to if it's the Steelers against Eagles or the Patriots against the Steelers, they shouldn't be super much because it's not Tom Brady versus Ben Roethlisberger anymore. It's
exactly.
It's all these young QBs and young teams. It shouldn't be that overpriced to go to these games right now for us.
It should be a lot more affordable.
Now, if it was against the Packers, it would probably be a lot more. You get to see Aaron Rodgers.
Your tickets are still gonna be up there.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure we play the Eagles this year.
Do we? That'd be cool. I mean, I feel like we play you guys every other year, so
we play it too.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know we got the Patriots division, but I don't know. I always have that formula stuck in my head. Like, okay, well, so last year we played the Steelers division. Now we got the Patriots up next, and then it's like,
yeah,
only because I love seeing Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. So, I mean, no, I'm actually not even 100% on who we play. Like, if we do, we might play that division, to be honest. The Cowboys.
Well, we'll see here on the 12th when the schedule releases here for everybody.
The day this drops. So when this comes out, the schedule should be out by now here.
Yep, hopefully. Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I had, though, as far as my bias bubble, man.
Mm-hmm.
But we can roll right into the crazy sports stat fact of the podcast. You know how we close off the shows.
Yeah.
This is a basketball one. We've been talking about a lot of the NBA playoffs. There's only been one point double-double in NBA history, and it belongs to none other than Wilt Chamberlain.
Of course. Dude, he has every record.
It seems like it. On November 4th, 1967, he recorded a stat line of 1 point, 18 rebounds, and 13 assists.
So he made one free throw and missed the rest of his shots. He just had an off night, but he's like, "Oh, don't worry, guys. I got you. I'll carry us to the promised land." 18 assists. Here you go. Like Jesus, man. He's literally got like every record imaginable. Every one of the big records that we talk about, it's always a Wilt Chamberlain record. So hey,
I don't see anybody getting 100 points in this NBA, man.
No. It's crazy, man.
But yeah, that's the show, man. I want to thank you, Ryan, for joining us here. It's always great having you on.
It's always great being on. I love it.
Yeah, so we'll have to get you on here, especially ramping up towards the season, talk about all the training camp stuff, and then once we're into the season here, try to look at what the schedule looks like. Maybe if you're facing one of our teams, bring you on that week, talk about what's going to happen. A little prediction or afterwards.
We'll see how far these Bucks go, man,
Yeah, you guys win a chip. Have to have you on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely down, and I'm just hoping for a drama-free training camp this year. So
well, he should be. You guys got, Aaron Rodgers and everything got that kind of settled. I think you guys are cool within the organization, it seems.
Yeah, I think I was kind of worried about after the Devontae Adams trade and stuff like that. But, I think Rodgers, all he did was wish Devontae the best, and I think that he's come to terms with it and stuff, and he's ready. I think he's going to stay a Packer for life, and that's.
It certainly seems like
at this point in mine as well.
Yeah,
might as well.
Because he always said about Michael Jordan. He was like that's somebody that he always looked up to and he admired because he stayed loyal to Chicago. Out of it with the other teams, but it was something that he really coveted to staying with one team.
Yeah. I totally respect that. That's why it's one of the reasons I love Damian Lillard, is because he seems like no matter what, he wants to be in Portland. Like, he's not the dude to go ring chasing or, want to team up with all these guys. I respect it, man.
Yeah, I do too. Like I said, I want to see him retire Packer. Like, I really don't want to see him in a Minnesota Vikings uniform or, really any uniform for that matter, just tearing it up for somebody else, though.
I know
this day and age, it's rare, man. Like, I feel like going forward, you're not going to really see too many players that are going to be with their team for a whole career.
Yeah, I mean, the only other one that I can think of that's really locked up is Mike Trout, that plays for, the Angels. He's one of the best players to ever grace baseball, and it's like it was like 3-4 years ago, he was rumored to be going to the Phillies because he's from Jersey.
Yeah, and I know he's a huge Eagles fan. He always goes to the games and shit.
And he locked up a deal for like 13 years or something like that. He's locked in. But
I feel like every home game for the Eagles that I watch, they're always at one point or a couple times during the game, they'll have a Mike Trout cam where he's sitting there, like right there, like right behind the end zone, front row, just like, like with a beer in his hand and shit. I was like, oh, I know who Mike Trout is. I see him enough every year.
I would love to run into him at a game or something. If he came to a Phillies Mets game, I'd love to. I mean, the most famous person that I've seen at a sporting event was, I think, Tim McGraw. So I mean, it's not even just because his dad was Tug McGraw and he played for the Mets and Phillies. So
so they're at the game.
Yeah, but I mean, actually, I was there whenever I was at a Flyers game, and Doug Peterson was there.
Doug
Kelsey was there, and
legend.
One other. That
dude could win mayor of Philadelphia if he ran, bro, easily.
I bet you he would.
Jason Kelsey could be mayor.
Speaking of the Eagles, real quick, did you see that post of Devonta Smith? They put on the Titantron, I think it was at a Sixers game, and it said former Philadelphia Eagle, and he's like, damn, I got fired on my day off. Like,
yeah, it said former Philadelphia Eagle Devonta Smith, and he like screen capped it. He's like, damn, I got fired on my day off. I didn't know that. They better not fire Devonta Smith.
No, him with AJ Brown, I think it's gonna be a very good tandem for the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are going places. Yeah, I mean, they really.
I hope. And we just got a couple holes to fill on defense, but I think as far as like offense, we set right now. We just, just hopefully you go out here. Jalen Hurts takes the next step. Sirianni is kind of gets comfortable as a play caller and a head coach here, and see what we can do. We overachieved going to the playoffs last year. Only way to go is up with all these pieces being added. So I'm excited, man.
And Vern, I'm excited to see the Patriots too. I like seeing Mac Jones and what he does. I kind of thought their draft was a head scratcher, but I mean, Bill Belichick knows something that nobody else knows. I mean, that man could go to the Boston Walmart and get a bagger and be like, "Look, I need you to play wide receiver for me this weekend," and bam, next Wes Welker. So
I got trust in Bill, so I'm gonna just leave all my trust in Bill going forward. The same way I do every year.
He'll be scouring the undrafted free agents and like the practice squads pretty much for all these guys.
Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, but that's the show here for this week. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at Squad Pod Sports and Waves 5 Media there. Check out all the content across the channel. Thank you, Ryan, once again for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Definitely have to have you on here again shortly. And we'll see everybody next week.